Hello, Ian from Somerset News Network. Rupert Lowe update. CBS says there's insufficient evidence. Now, Reform made the allegations about Rupert Lowe. They said that he threatened somebody, which I don't believe for 1 minute. He's a nice guy. You know, you get a feeling for people. And I just don't believe what they said. So it wasn't sticking. People weren't believing it. So they did the unthinkable. The lowest thing they could do. They put out the rumour that he had Alzheimer's. I just, where's the logic in it? They only had 5 MPs, and they're getting rid of one. Rupert Lowe didn't do anything wrong. That's why I withdrew my support from Reform. I wanted to see the KC's report. What's happened to that? You know, there's rumours that she walked off the job because Reform was making quotes and reporting on the finding before she even made her findings. What do I think Reform should do now? I think that Reform, as I said in one of my videos, Reform needs reforming. They've got to allow the members to vote on the leader. They've also got to get the guy that made the allegations that have been found, I think, to be untrue, but insufficient evidence is what the CPS are calling it, should resign on the spot. Farage should apologise. Said, sorry, I believed him. I'm sorry about this. And would you like to come back? And invite Rupert Lowe back into the party. After all that's happened, I don't think Rupert Lowe is going to come back. And I don't blame him. You can't treat people like this. I was a union rep in the civil service. And I had to work under Civil Service Code, which is the same code that would be done for MPs and for their staff. No way would you ever have got away with this when I was in the civil service. You may have been suspended, you would never have been sacked until there was a full inquiry. Well, Rupert Lowe was sacked on the hearsay of the chairman, which has now been seen to be unfounded because there's no court case. So Rupert Lowe is now innocent, which he was innocent all along, I think. Farage has got to come out and apologise. Eat humble pie. The chairman has got to resign. He's the one that should be sacked, not Rupert Lowe. And Rupert Lowe should be invited back. That's what I think. Anyway, Rupert Lowe, I'm glad for you. And if you start a new party, I'm going to join, I tell you. Because if the Reform are acting like this now, and they've only got 5 MPs, what's going to happen if they had 200 or 300 MPs, and we found that Farage was in number 10? Are they going to still be up to these same antics? Any MP that they don't like will be out. They'll destroy Reform. Or is that the idea? Do they not really want to be the government? Is there dark forces within Reform that don't want Reform to form a government? Look what happened to UKIP. Look what happened to the Brexit Party. It was dark forces within, not necessarily Farage. I don't think Farage comes out of it with flying colours, but I think Farage is a good speaker and he says the right things and he believes what he says. But it's the people that he employs. We've got the chairman and we've got the head office staff of Reform, but they're hiring staff from the Tory headquarters. It sounds like a recipe for a disaster. Well, look what's happened. Between now and the next election, they could destroy Reform. And this country needed a common sense party, which they report to be. I'm sorry, but I can't like it anymore. I agree with what they're saying, but not by their actions. If Rupert Lowe starts a new party, I'm in. I tell you. Let's have a common sense party on, so the members can vote for the leader. I don't necessarily think that Rupert Lowe may be the best leader, but he may be the power behind the throne. Well, like I've said before, we need a coalition, an alliance of. I don't like right and left, but analogy would be right of centre, and there's a lot of us. Lawrence Fox for one, Tommy Robinson and his friends. He's got a lot of supporters, and there's 2 or 3 different groups. You've got the British Constitutional Party. If you can get these people together, this is my thinking, and come up with a memorandum of understanding, and I think most of them would agree with it. Even some of those are in place to mislead you. One of the things that these groups say is, we haven't got a constitution. I've heard them, they try and promote what they're doing. They want an English Parliament. Well, we've got an English Parliament. It's called Westminster. So we don't need an English Parliament. Now, they want a constitution. So what do they want to do? They want to scrap all the old acts that I talk about. All the constitutional acts that we have. The Constitution is not a single act. It's a number of acts. You've got the Magna Carta of 1216 is where we start. Not 1215, that was repealed. And you've got the Liberties of the Subject Act. There's 3 or 4 of them. 1354, we've got due process of law. It's actually written in an Act of Parliament. That's where it comes from. Rights and liberties should be upheld. That's in 1453 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. And then we got the Bill of Rights. They tell us we haven't got a Bill of Rights, but we got a Bill of Rights. 1688. I was told it was 1688. Then I got told it was 1689. And now I'm told it's 1688 again. So it's 1688, 1689. And then on top of that, you've got the Act of Settlement. And the Act of Settlement refers to the Crown. The Bill of Rights took the power from the Crown and put it into the Commons and Lords. The head of state, the King, became a figurehead, which is what we've got now. And the Act of Settlement put it into the bloodline. and they amend the Act of Settlement to get your list of people. Line of succession, they call it. They're thinking of throwing Harry out of it, which I think is a good thing. Definitely his kids, we don't know if they're real or not. But the Act of Settlement, the last paragraph, the last clause, says the laws of England are the birthright of the people. So that's the Bill of Rights, the Magna Carta, and the Liberties to the Subjects Acts. If a party can get together and agree to that, that's the first thing they got to do. Then you've got the Memorandum of Understanding. Lower taxes. Take VAT off hot food. No way should VAT be on hot food. That was because we were in the EU. We're out of the EU. Now we can make our own mind up. We've got to cut fuel tax so that people can get to work and got more money to spend. If they got more money to spend, they will buy more things and people keep their jobs. The more tax you take off people, it's basic economics. The more tax they take off me, the less money I got, the less luxury goods I'll buy. Therefore, you're not going to buy things. Therefore, you lose jobs. And if you lose jobs, you've got to put taxes up. And then we definitely haven't got the money to buy things. It ain't rocket science, it's basic economics. And at the moment, we've had Labour and Tory governments, and then we had a Conservative Lib Lab government, which was a coalition. What a nightmare that was. Cameron and whatever the Lib Dem man was. Nick Clegg, that's the guy. If Tories were real Tories, no way should they have got into bed with the Liberal Democrats. They're a Marxist. Now, Rupert Lowe is going to be a power in British politics. He's going to be like an elder statesman. He's been around the world, now he's gone into politics, which is more than most of the Labour MPs have done. You look at the Labour front bench, and they look like DEI hire. Don't they? Would you give any of them a job? We've got Mastermind David Lammy, who's now in a dispute over a taxi bill that he hadn't paid. You've got Mad Ed Miliband and Rachel from Accounts. And they're destroying the country in front of our very eyes. They're not working for the people. I want to know who they're working for, because it sure ain't us. Anyway, that's what I had to say today. I think Rupert Lowe is a good guy. I've supported him all along. And if he does start another party, I'll tell you if I join. Anyway, Ian, Somerset News Network, signing off. Bye bye.